Welcome back in your afternoon with Nafeesa Dangor show, where we shall, of course, enticing you in many directions this afternoon. And it's all about being a holistic being. And that's what we're trying to create for you this afternoon. Of course, changing your mindset, creating a better way of eating. And with me, I'm going to be having this afternoon a very inspirational lady on our wholesome eating segment. Her name is Michelle Mellet. Let me just tell you a little bit about her. Michelle obtained her Bachelor of Dietetics degree at the University of Pretoria. She's a registered dietitian at the Health Professional Council of South Africa. In 2018, she completed her community service at Tambo Memorial Hospital in Boksburg. She started her private practice at Metabolic Med in 2019 and completed a course in nutrigenomics and food allergies. Michelle is passionate about empowering and providing support to all individuals who wish to make better food and, of course, better lifestyle choices. A very good afternoon to you, and thank you so much for joining me on the Nafeesa Dangor show this afternoon.
Thank you so much for having me this afternoon.
It's so wonderful meeting people like you because you're always enticing us to get into a better space from where we are to where we're heading. So thank you so much for joining me and taking the time off this afternoon. Michelle, talk to me about your journey.
So my journey actually started, I really wanted to work with people, but I really wanted to work with food as well. So dietetics for me was a perfect combination of the two, being able to help people, but in a way with more healthy eating and looking after themselves better.
Most definitely. And I think it's important to, of course, be able to follow a good diet. And this afternoon, we're going to be talking about keto. And I think a lot of people are not so tapped into it. So can you explain to us a little bit about the keto diet and how it works?
So when our body breaks down foods that we eat, most of the diets that you would find, you get more of your energy from carbohydrates. And the carbohydrates are broken down to sugars. So in the body, the cells use the sugar, which is called glucose, to form ATP, so adenosine triphosphate. And that's like the energy cells for the cells in our body. So all the sugars that not used now is stored in our liver as glycogen. So later on, when the body needs energy again, it's converted back to glucose to use for energy. But when you do a keto type of diet or have a ketogenic lifestyle, we lower the amount of carbohydrates that you eat. So you never build up the glycogen stores in your liver. So the body learns and adapts to using your own fat stores as a form of energy. So all the fatty acids are broken down to ketones, and then the body uses that as a form of energy.
And why actually incorporate a keto diet into your life? A lot of people will ask the question, there's so many different diets out there. A lot of the times you ask yourself the question, I think I'm also in that boat where you ask yourself the question, what sort of diet is good for me and what will work for me? What does keto do for you?
Yeah, so I really do believe there's a lot of benefits to the ketogenic diet. So firstly, you do have a lot more energy because your body can produce a lot more of the ATP, of the adenosine triphosphate for your body to use. So just to give you an idea, 1 gram of carbohydrates give you only 38 ATP, so only 38 batteries for the cell to use. But 1 gram of fat gives you 132 ATP. So your body has a lot more energy, and because you incorporate a lot more of your healthy fats, it contains more omega-3. And omega-3 is one of the essential fatty acids that is anti-inflammatory. So it helps to lower inflammation in the body. And then, of course, very important, it helps to stabilize hormones. So your body uses fat to form estrogen, progesterone, testosterone. Even your good cholesterol, the HDL, also forms from fat. And then, very important, it can actually reverse insulin resistance. So when we eat a lot of carbohydrates, our blood sugar increase, and then the pancreas has to secrete insulin to decrease our blood sugar. But when that happens throughout the day and you have a constant increased insulin level, then you can become insulin resistant. And then you also tend to gain a lot of visceral fat, so a lot of unhealthy fats around your organs. So by decreasing the carbohydrates, you can help to lower insulin levels and stabilize your blood sugar and insulin levels.
Surely enough, the ketogenic diet is not only just used to lower insulin levels, but for many other diseases alike. Can you actually explain it to us and work us through this?
Yeah, so for example, we use the ketogenic diet for kids or adults with epilepsy because our brain is 60% fat. So when you increase your fat intake, it lowers the inflammation in our brain, which helps with the waves in our brain. And also, sometimes when you have an increased blood sugar level, it can bring up seizures. So we see a lot of success with kids, especially with epilepsy. We also see success in cancer patients. So especially before they go to chemo treatments, we put them on a ketogenic diet, which definitely helps in terms of treatment. We see a lot of patients with high cholesterol levels. So when you look at your whole lipogram, it measures your cholesterol, the LDL, HDL, triglycerides. So you need to look at all those components to see an improvement in your lipogram. And then, of course, it's good for weight loss as well. Even diabetics, type 1 and type 2 diabetics, we see a lot of improvements in, for example, the amount of units they use. So some of my patients, even they use a long-acting and a short-acting insulin, and they were able to leave out the short-acting insulin completely and even lower the units they use per day. So I think there's a lot of improvements in some of the sports patients that we see as well. And even for something like IBS, we introduce good probiotics to help with the whole lining of the gut.
Right. What about metabolic disorders? A lot of people have that. Would the ketogenic diet work for that as well?
Yes, so we definitely see a lot of patients with metabolic syndrome. So you would have either increased cholesterol or high blood pressure or increased waist circumference. So because you focus on the insulin, many of those factors improve as well. We also see improvements in blood pressure, weight reduction, and then waist circumference, as well as decrease of visceral fat.
Now, Michelle, a lot of the times when we say a ketogenic diet and low carbohydrates, I think people start getting confused because they don't even know where to start. So walk us through the idea of, talk us through the idea of where should we start? What is it that we need to eat to lower our carbohydrate levels in order to be able to, of course, get over that cancer, get over that epilepsy. And of course, as you were saying, it helps with diabetes in many directions. So take us through that phase of what we should and what we shouldn't be eating.
Yeah, so overall, vegetables, dairy products, fruits, any starchy foods, all of those foods contain carbohydrates. So with us, it's very specific to each individual, the carbohydrate, protein, and fat requirements. So we actually weigh them, we look at the fat mass, at the muscle mass, to establish the dietary prescription. So to see how many of each of the macronutrients they actually need. So just simply put, the carbohydrates, we would include maybe a small portion of fruits, dairy if it is appropriate for the patient, and then non-starchy vegetables. So you want to decrease all your starchy foods, a lot of fruits, a lot of dairy, and then increase your intake of the healthy fats like avos, olives. You can use avocado or olive oil, nuts, seeds, and of course, all your fatty fish are the most important.
So those are the things that you can actually eat. What are the things that you should be avoiding?
So any starchy foods like rice, pasta, bread, any sweets. You would also look out for your starchy vegetables and very sweet fruits like melon, papaya, mango, lychees. You want to avoid those. And remember, the keto diet is not a high protein diet. So actually, when you eat too much protein, that actually has the same insulin response as eating pasta or bread. So it's important to remember you can't just have as much protein, as much fat as you would like. So it's important to remember that, especially when you want to lose some weight, you can't just have too much of the good things as well, because the fats are very energy dense. So you can't have too much. So I would always say it's better to work together with a dietitian when you want to start the ketogenic diet, just to make sure that you're actually eating the correct foods in correct portions for your own body type, for your own weight, for your own requirements.
That makes so much of sense. But now we're going to ask you a question. Would you like to share a little recipe with us? Because a lot of the times when you give us these ideas, I'll be honest with you, I'll walk into a store and I won't even know where to start.
Yeah. Okay, so just to give you an idea, maybe I can give you, what my meals looked like today. So this morning, I had a small portion of full cream yogurt with some blueberries, and I added chia seeds and almonds. So you want to have the three components, your carbohydrate, protein, and fats. So the protein would be in the yogurt, and the yogurts and the fruit both contains carbohydrates. And then your healthy fats is the chia seeds and the almonds. Okay. And then my lunch was a few cucumbers and cherry tomatoes. I had some biltong, and I made an avocado dip. So I just blended avo with some olive oil and a bit of salt. And then tonight I'm actually having a keto lasagna. So you also have different options. In the shops, they sell noodles, lasagna sheets, etc. But what I'm using instead of the pasta is I'm layering mushrooms and eggplants instead of using pasta.
Okay, so you're not going to use the pasta at all. You're just going to layer the eggplant and the...
Yes. And mince, and I'm making my own cheese sauce of coconut cream and mozzarella.
So there's always a healthier option. You can never be stuck.
No, there's always delicious options. You can still have the same foods that you usually would have, like pizza or pasta, but just a better option.
So tell me, with the pizzas and the pastas, people that have gluten intolerance, would they
Yes.
also follow a keto diet?
Yes, they would. So with the pizza bases and the pastas that you find in store, they will usually make it consisting of almond or coconut flour, some eggs, cheese, and vegetables. So they don't use any wheat or gluten-containing products in the pasta or any of the other products, pizza bases, etc. So it is appropriate for wheat and gluten allergies. And then especially with anyone with nuts or cheese or dairy allergies, it's also appropriate, because what we do is we work a meal plan out according to your needs. So you don't need dairy, you don't need, cheese or wheat or gluten. We have other substitutes that will still give you all the vitamins and minerals that you need.
Now, talk to us a little bit about Michelle, because I see Michelle absolutely loves what she does.
Yeah.
What does it mean for you?
So for me, the most enjoyable thing is when a patient comes in and they sit in front of me and they're already down and everything is just too much. They don't know what to eat. They don't know how much. They have no ideas. The husband complains the food is too boring, and they really feel down. And then I give them a plan and I motivate them. And when they come back after a month's time and I see a smile on their face, I think that's the most rewarding thing, when they leave my office and they are happier than they came in.
Most definitely. And I think it's very rewarding also from a point of view to actually see the differences in their health, because from when they came to you to where they came a month later, I'm sure with the keto diet, you see the difference within that period of time already.
Yes, so some of the markers we test for only improve after 3 months' time. For example, your blood sugar levels. There's a specific test we do, your HbA1c level. So that gives you more or less an indication of your blood sugar level over 3 months. So we definitely do see a lot of success with weight loss, especially in the first month. But I always tell people, weight loss is just a bonus. first priority for me is always to improve your overall health.
Yes, most definitely. And what message do you have for our viewers this afternoon?
I just want to say that it's very important to look after yourself, take care of yourself, even if you're busy now in this time with COVID, with work and with kids and with family, you are also important. So please take care of yourself, eat healthy, live healthy, and just enjoy life.
And thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. You've definitely enlightened us on, of course, the keto way of eating. And I can see the benefits that it has, especially for people that are encountering many different types of diseases like cancer and epilepsy and diabetes. And it definitely does turn it around. As you said, for me, I think it's important to see the diabetes actually coming down from the phase that it's originally in, because what happens is a lot of the time, that's what creates a lot more trouble in the body on its own.
Yes, definitely.
Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. You've been a definite inspiration as far as wholesome eating is concerned. And we hope to look forward to speaking to you again real soon. Thank you so much. All of the success. And of
Thank
course,
you so much for having me.
the pleasure was only ours. Thank you so much, Michelle. Take care.
Thank you.
Have a lovely day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
That was Michelle Mellet, definitely inspiring us to, of course, follow a keto diet, to be able to, of course, look after ourselves and change certain, of course, ailments and illnesses that we have in our body, for example, like diabetes, cancer, epilepsy, and the manner in which we follow our diet. It's, as I say, what we put in is what we're going to get out, and we can change that. There is help out there, and Michelle is definitely one of them, an inspiration this afternoon, of course, on a wholesome eating segment. But stay with us. We have something very interesting after this break.